What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so I saw Ticket TV and the sports and political channel LB do videos talking about this particular subject, and something that is becoming an increasing problem in our society. Women that are in positions of authority over uh, impressionable and confused young boys. These women who are entrusted in an authoritative role over these young boys are preying on them, predators. It is the silent epidemic that is going on in this country that no one wants to talk about because our society is almost conditioned to give women passes when they behave like moral monsters. Okay? Now, this woman here, now I prefer to use this image because this is her mugshot, not the picture that normally is circulating out there of her looking about 10 years younger. And I want the disheveled picture of her, the shamed picture of her. This is a 45-year-old substitute teacher named Erin Ward. She lives in Nebraska, and she was caught naked in a car with a teenage student. She allegedly confessed to having intercourse with the 17-year-old boy, who was a student at Burt High School where she worked. She had sexual relations with this young boy in the backseat of a car, was caught by police at 3 a.m. in the morning. They were on a back street, and I guess it looked suspicious. This car being parked there that late at night. Maybe someone thought that it might have been drug activity, something like that. Because that's another silent epidemic going on in rural communities. But anyway, the teenager, according to the article, rushed to the driver's seat and tried to get away, sped off, but crashed 2 blocks later, at which point he got out and fled on foot. Erin Ward remained in the car where she got dressed and then allegedly confessed to sleeping with the minor. Police found her ID from Omaha Public Schools on her, and she said she substituted at various schools in the area, including the school where the teen attended. The high school was later found hiding in a yard and only his t-shirt and underwear, according to the sheriff's office. Because the teen was above the age of consent, which is 16 in Nebraska, the teacher was able to dodge statutory rhymes with grape charges, but still was hit with the felony count of sex abuse by a school employee. And to make things even worse, this was a woman that was a married mother of 3. Being that she's 45, I would gather that she may have kids that were around the age of the boy who she was having an affair with. And her husband is a Harvard-educated, high-ranking federal employee. His name is Doug Ward. Spent nearly 2 decades with the U.S. Strategic Command, one of the unified combatant commands within the Defense Department, headquartered at Offutt Air Force Base in Omaha. And he began his career as a deputy branch chief in 2005, was promoted to deputy director of the Commander's Action Group in February. He also has a long education history with degrees from the University of Illinois, Bellevue University, and Harvard Extension School. He is currently completing his doctorate in defense and strategic studies at Missouri State University, according to LinkedIn. So She has this cushy, well, I'm gonna say cushy job because I'm pretty sure she's a substitute teacher just to be able to do something. But I'm assuming she really didn't have to work. Her husband has this tremendous career. She has 3 kids, and she's potentially throwing it all away because I'm assuming a combination of boredom and maybe a lack of sex. Because if she was getting sex on a regular, I don't think she would be tempted to do what she did unless she just has a perversion and she's a predator. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be, her life will never be the same. Her marriage may be over. If somehow he stays with her, it's never going to go away. And this seems to be something that's more and more common. Women cheating on their husbands with under either younger men or the more predacious ones preying on young boys. This is an epidemic that is sweeping the country. It doesn't get talked about enough. And I find it very hypocritical because someone like Shaquille O'Neal, who's a grown man, was dragged on social media because he found Ice Spice attractive, who's a grown 24-year-old woman. Okay? Now, I find it interesting. Shaq was 51. People were dragging him because he found Ice Spice attractive. Yet, people like myself were defending Bill Clinton for having sex with an intern when he was 50 and she was 23, 24. Make that make sense. There was 2 consenting adults. The crime was he was married, if you want to call it a crime. It wasn't against the law, but, it was nobody's business what he was doing. Now, everything's everybody's business. But Shaq had to double back and say, "No, I wasn't flirting with her. That's not what I was doing." Da, da, da. Even if he was flirting with her, who gives a damn? But, I saw a case recently, man, where a woman who worked at a youth center apparently was having a relationship with a 10-year-old boy. This woman was in her 20s. The mother became suspicious because she saw her embracing her son in a sexual manner, a manner that you would, a couple would embrace, not a friendly hug. She saw a picture of this woman who worked at this youth center as a screensaver on her son's phone, saw photographs, suggestive photographs of this girl in her son's phone. They were communicating with each other, texting. He apparently had her phone number. They were talking in a flirty and suggestive manner. There's something wrong in our society. There's something seriously wrong, and it's becoming normalized. And I can't talk about it right here. I don't want to specifically say the word, but something's becoming normalized in our society. Right? Something insidious is becoming normalized, and it has a lot to do with a particular group that has begged and has demanded acceptance. But in my opinion, this particular group, who I'm not going to mention, their end game goals are not acceptance, but dominance, to the point where they want their particular lifestyle to be the dominant ones, and the prior dominant one to be the minority. That's what they want. They're not about marriage and morality. They're about doing whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like you want to do. Even if you got to force someone else to do it, you can do it. That's what they're all about, in my opinion, at least. Yeah, that's all I got to say about it. And yeah, this woman should be behind bars. I don't care if he's above the age of consent. He's still 17 years old. No, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If this was flipped around, if this is a 45-year-old male student with a 17-year-old girl, everybody would be saying it's got to be should be under the jail. The same thing occurs should be with this situation. You know,